Welcome to the Spy Collection. Anastasios here, and in this episode, we'll use a commercially available TTL device to talk about a recent espionage case. First, let's study the actual case. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, there was a huge restructure of the former Soviet spy agencies. Eventually, the Federal Security Service, or FSB, became responsible for internal matters, and the Foreign Intelligence Service, or SVR, for foreign. But this is not entirely correct. The former Soviet republics were still considered by many so crucial to Russia's existence that they cannot be treated as truly foreign states. As such, strange as it may sound, even to this day the responsibility for operations in the former Soviet Union countries falls under the FSB, not the SVR. With that in mind, let's move to January 24, 2023, when Ukraine's security service, the SBU, shared an announcement that we also included in our Spy News newsletter, saying that on January 24th, Ukraine's SBU announced that they exposed a Russian agent who was preparing a missile attack on Kropyvnytskyi power stations. The security service exposed another FSB agent during a multi-stage special operation in the Krovograd region. The henchman of the aggressor collected information about the placement of units of the defense forces and critical infrastructure facilities in the region. First of all, he was interested in the locations of local energy facilities. Also, on the instructions of the enemy, he had to install a GPS tracker near one of the transformer substations in Kropyvnytskyi. According to the beacon signals, the occupiers wanted to adjust the missile strike on the Ukrainian energy facility. In the event of a successful air attack, the invaders planned to continue a series of shelling on the territory of the regional center using tips from the FSB agent. However, SBU officers promptly exposed the intruder, documented his criminal actions, and detained him while trying to install a GPS device near the city's electrical substation. According to the investigation, the traitor turned out to be a local resident who was recruited by the Russian Special Service after the start of the full-scale invasion. He came into the attention of the aggressor because of his pro-Kremlin views, which he repeatedly made public among his entourage. To collect information for the FSB, their agent went to the area and took photos and videos of Ukrainian objects. They received the report with electronic coordinates was transmitted to the enemy through anonymous messengers. During the inspection of the scene and searches of the detainees' residence, law enforcement officers found 1. GPS tracker with a SIM card of a mobile operator, 2. Telephones and computer equipment with evidence of correspondence with a representative of the FSB. And this is the official SBU announcement, which also included 3 photographs from the incident. First, this, showing 2 SBU operatives holding the detained FSB agent and another man standing on the right with his jacket saying Krovograd Regional Prosecutor's Office. Secondly, this, showing the Ukrainian counterintelligence and forensics experts collecting evidence while the suspect is handcuffed and held on the ground on the top left. And finally, this photo. Here we see the GPS tracking device mentioned next to a forensics ruler from the National Police of Ukraine and a plastic bag. We identified this GPS device, and it's this, the spy artifact of this episode. Those trackers are manufactured in China and sold under various different brand names. However, the device itself and how it works remains the same. Despite the brand names changing, we also noticed that the model number remains the same across all of them. This is the TK905-Mini. They arrive with a charging cable, manual, a small screwdriver, as well as a sticker and a magnet, which can be used at the base of the device if you want. Here is the front side of the manual and the back side. Feel free to pause the video if you'd like to study it. The device has a couple of different options. It allows you to call it or send it an SMS and it will respond back with its location along with a Google Maps link. You can configure it to notify you of its location based on a speed change, vibrations, sound, as well as through its mobile app which shows you its location in near real time. Here is its on-off switch, the magnetic charging port, and this tiny hole here is for its microphone. Now let's use each tiny screwdriver to open it up. The device has a nice seal, and inside we have this. From top to bottom we see the 3 indicator LEDs that are matching this channel on the case, the microphone, a USB port, the SIM card socket, the vibration device, the GSM antenna here, and the last component is of course the GPS module. Underneath we have the batteries and the rest of its parts. But now let's put it back together. So definitely a small, compact and useful device for TTL operations by spy agencies like the FSB, especially for the intended purpose described by the SBU, that is, place this and potentially other similar devices in critical infrastructure stations, and then the FSB could just notify the Russian military to use the beacons from those trackers for precise strikes. This is not the first time that we've seen this tactic used by Russian intelligence services in Ukraine. We have published another video about it, links in the description. But why would the FSB follow this approach? There are many benefits to it. First, those are cheap, easy to use and commercially available, so also adding deniability. Secondly, discovering those via SIGINT is not that trivial in a war zone, since they do not really stand out. They appear like a normal mobile device with very low traffic. Apparently, there are some ways to uncover them, but it's not as easy as when those are used to track people or inside secure facilities. Finally, and most importantly, those aren't leaking any sensitive technologies in case they get captured, like in this case. And in case you wonder what happened to that FSB agent that SBU captured on January 24th of 2023, approximately 5 months after his detainment, specifically on May 30th, 2023, SBU issued another press release stating that the security service has collected reasonable evidence of guilt against another FSB agent. He was carrying out the enemy's task of correcting Russian airstrikes on Kropyvnytskyi. According to the instructions of the Russian Special Service, the agent had to install a GPS tracker near one of the transformer substations in the regional center. According to the beacon signals, the occupiers wanted to adjust the missile strike on the Ukrainian energy facility. SBU officers detained the attacker at the end of January 2023 when he installed a GPS tracker on the city's electrical substation. According to the materials of the Ukrainian Special Service, the court sentenced him to 15 years in prison with confiscation of property. As the investigators established, the enemy accomplice turned out to be a local resident who was remotely recruited by the FSB after the start of the full-scale invasion. He came to the attention of the Russian Special Services because of his pro-Kremlin views, which he repeatedly made public among those around him. Based on the collected evidence, the court found the perpetrator guilty under Part 2 of Article 111 of the Criminal Code of Ukraine, treason committed under martial law. The security service emphasizes the inevitability of punishment for crimes against our state. The investigation was conducted by SBU officers in the Kropyvnytskyi region under the procedural guidance of the Regional Prosecutor's Office. And along with this, they also published one censored photograph showing the FSB agent inside the courtroom. And with that, we are closing this episode on the TK905-Mini, a commercially available GPS tracking device that has been used, at least once as we demonstrated, by spy agencies to conduct tactical intelligence collection, more precisely a TTL mission. Even cheap devices like this can become a powerful espionage tool. So remember that nothing is as it seems.